Happy Monday, everybody, or whatever day it is that you're watching this. Let's talk about research. I want to give you some guidance today on how to use library databases to conduct research while you're at home. The academic databases are going to be an important tool for you as you're getting ready for the research paper, so let's take a look. If we review the prompt briefly together here for the research paper, we see that there is a key component of at least one original academic source that you find on your own. So we're going to talk today about how to find your own articles and resources and how to recognize a credible academic source when you see one. All right, so let's do this. The first thing you're going to want to do is visit the site for the Southwestern College Library. Here we go. So this is the link to our college library, and we're going to take a look together at the website. All right, when you visit the webpage for the library, it looks something like this. We're going to scroll down to the module right here on the left that says Research. Once you get to the research page, you're going to see a number of options for quick links. I'm going to start here, Articles and Databases. When we click on Articles and Databases, it pulls up a list of all the specialized academic search engines that you have access to as a Southwestern College student. These are the same databases that you can use when you're at the library to find academic resources. Today, we're going to start out with the first one on the list, EBSCOhost or Academic Search Complete. The first thing you see when you click on the link will be the off-campus authentication that'll pop up. That's fine. Go ahead and follow the instructions there to sign in with your WebAdvisor user ID and what it tells you for the password. This is just to verify that you're a student enrolled at Southwestern College so you can have access to all of the databases at home. So I just went ahead and logged in through the off-campus authentication, and now we're here on the home search page for EBSCO. So this is a good time to talk about choosing search terms for our research topic. Now that you've accessed the database, how do you find the kind of information that you want? Oh God, I love Diet Coke so much. Okay, search terms. So we're looking to make a contribution with our research papers to this debate over the impact of ethnic studies classes. We want to talk about how these sorts of classes affect the students who participate in them. So ethnic studies would be a broad but pretty relevant search term to start with. Let's see what we get. I'm going to go through and start by just searching ethnic studies on EBSCOhost. Okay, we get 73,000 results with that search term. So it is broad, but if we take a look, I would say that the first stuff that pops up in the list actually looks pretty relevant. I clicked on the title of the first hit that I saw come up here, The Value of Ethnic History Studies to Cultural Competence in Organized Youth Recreation. So let's take a look at the PDF together and give that a quick skim. The abstract here on the first page of the article is a really good place to read briefly in this first paragraph a main idea of what the article is going to talk about and whether we find that relevant or interesting to what we're trying to do in our research. I want to go back to our result list though. This is probably a good time to try to narrow down and refine the list of results that we have. So I'm going to show you a couple tricks on the side here. The first thing that you want to do is find the checkboxes on the side that say full text and peer reviewed, and you want to check both of those to update the list. So what that just did is it narrowed down the list of results to not only what has full text available, meaning that you can read a PDF of every page of the article at home, but also to what is called peer-reviewed. And that means that other experts in the field have taken a look at this publication and have verified the information to make sure that it's credible, to make sure that it's accurate. And this is a really important thing that academic databases let us do because it verifies the quality of the information in our research. I want to take a look at the full text of this last one. Teaching African History Inside San Quentin State Prison. So I just hit PDF full text here, and I'm going to skim through the article a little bit. I like this section on identity development that I found on the third page here. It's got a quote from a student who was involved in the program here at San Quentin Prison. This actually kind of reminds me of what Acosta does in his article when he quotes from his students. So I think this is interesting. I'm going to email this to myself and save it so I can check out the rest of it later. So I'm going to go over to this little envelope button on the side. And that pops up the option to send the PDF of the article to myself. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my own email address right here, or whatever I want to send it to. And send. So ethnic studies did return a lot of relevant stuff, but maybe too much stuff. We're going to try something in the middle. Maybe we'll try Mexican American Studies, Tucson. And this allows us to not only narrow down the topic a little bit, but sometimes adding a tag about a geographical area or a time period can really help to make sure that you're returning sources on exactly the topic you want. Just to compare here, if you want to look at an example of search terms that are maybe too narrow, something like benefits of the Moss classes from Precious Knowledge, that's, for one thing, it's too long. You want to generally have search terms that are just a couple of key phrases, not like a sentence. And also, that might be too specific to the point that it's going to narrow down your pool too much and you're not going to get enough results. Alright, so I'm back to the database here, and this time I searched Mexican American Studies, Tucson. Already we can see that with the full text and the peer-reviewed, we're down to 83 search results. That's a reasonable list. I could probably at least scan through all the titles there. If we take a look here, there's a lot of good stuff. You can tell by the titles alone. Hey, Curtis Acosta, he wrote another article. You can tell by the titles alone, though, that a lot of these are directly dealing with the experience of the Moss students in Tucson, which means they're gonna be great resources for you to contribute to the research paper as part of this debate. So your only requirement is that you find one original, credible academic source that you want to use as part of the paper. You're allowed to use more than that you find on your own, of course, but you can also feel free to do one of your own and then pair that with Horn and Acosta, or you can do a totally original set. It's up to you. Just to wrap up, let's talk about why databases matter. As a student, you have access to things through EBSCOhost and through the library's databases that's just never going to show up on Google. The reason for that partially is because the school pays for subscriptions to these journals and magazines. So a public database like Google isn't going to return those results. The most important reason to use academic databases when you're conducting research, though, is because it returns credible, vetted sources. And that means that this is good information that we know is factual, that's been checked out by other experts in the field. And don't forget that I'm here for you if you have any questions throughout the process. Happy research!